The South Wales town of Porthcawl is sandwiched between Cardiff and Swansea, and it's a busy seaport and a popular resort in summertime. It's also the venue for the Tuska Triathlon, an event like any coastal pursuit which can be subject to some extremes of weather. And the forecast for 2018 is wind and waves, lots of both, an added challenge and certainly a factor that could make this event the toughest race so far in this year's Welsh Triathlon Super Series. Competitors like Carol Bridge, who's here to defend her title, are in for a tough day. This year's series started not too far away with the Llanelli sprint. Perfect conditions giving a gentle introduction to the series. The disc wheels were out. In Pembrokeshire, the sea swim and coastal path run over twice the distance forced competitors to dig deep into their reserves and demonstrate their trail running skills. Then Cardiff. Close quarters racing on a flat, fast course surrounded by the iconic sights of the city. From the bay and the barrage, they went to Bala. Beautiful conditions. The heat, more of a problem perhaps than the distance. 4 down, 2 to go. And it's on now to Tuska. The event itself is named after the legendary Tuska Rock in the Irish Sea. And there's no doubt that the sea state will play a significant role in the race, and it won't suit those who seldom venture beyond their 25-metre pool. The local club is Pencoed, and they organise the event, and they've got together for a pre-race training session, joined by one Helen Jenkins, who comes from not so far away in Bridgend. And along with her husband Mark, she is testament to the success of Welsh triathlon over the years. Helen is one of the best of all time. She was world champion in 2008 and 2011, but she still appreciates where it all starts, the grassroots.
One thing about triathlon is it's a really friendly sport, and I think a lot of people think, oh no, like I couldn't do that, I couldn't swim that far, I couldn't run that far, but just joining a club and you get to see like how relaxed people are really friendly, it's encouraging.
Having her around is inspirational for the club members as they head out into the water.
One of the nicest things that people have said to me is that they took up triathlon because they saw me racing, and that's better than winning any race, is that I've inspired someone to actually take up a sport. Wales has had a female at every Olympic Games, which are Welsh female. We've had 3 Welsh senior world champions. We've got Leander Cave, who's won Ironman, Non Stanford. Non's won world championships, so have myself. We've done really well. The men, we've got Mark Jenkins, who's my husband, who's been to an Olympics.
Clubs are a great way to start. You've got camaraderie, you've got your peers to support you, and you can gain a lot of knowledge from people already doing it, and confidence.
There is different elements to sea swimming. You've got currents, waves, tides, so it's definitely worth having a practice if you can, which is great. People are coming down to give it a go.
I think the barrier for most people is probably the swimming. But there's lots of pool-based events, and now British Triathlon along with Welsh Triathlon have got the Go Tri series, so that breaks down all the barriers. It's an easy event to get involved in. It offers you a pool-based swim, a short bike ride and a short run, and I guarantee you if you do that, you'll enjoy it and then you'll get the bug.
I got into triathlon as a swimmer. One of the girls in my swimming club, her dad was involved in Welsh Triathlon and asked if I wanted to give it a go. A few of us went and did a bit of a trial, and yeah, he took me on and coached me for the first few years. So yeah, it really went from a really basic talent ID. We've got some great talent coming through, and I think that's going to be really key to people making the next step up, and continued success, international success is what we want.
On to race day then, and one of the young women who may well go on to have some international success is Abby Williams. She's lining up to compete here and perhaps give the Bala champion Vicky Johnson something to think about. The challenge for most is the sea conditions, and it's every bit as daunting as predicted. Even getting down the slipway and out into the sea is a problem for some. Many hesitant to get in remind me of the wildebeest having to enter the croc-infested waters. But once out, perhaps not as bad as they thought. A deep water start and a last chance to give encouragement, perhaps talk tactics with a teammate. The distance is a 750-metre swim. It won't take much more than 10 minutes to complete that. A 22-kilometre bike ride and a 5-kilometre run. Those extra 2 kilometres on the bike giving the cyclist just a little bit of an advantage. And the man from Guernsey, Josh Lewis, taking an early lead.
Choppier it is in the water, the better it is potentially for the better swimmers. So drafting's not going to be as big of an advantage in choppier water. So potentially, from my perspective, if I'm near the front, then hopefully people won't be able to draft on the feet so much.
And just as Lewis suggested, the leaders getting a little bit further ahead than they would otherwise. Matchett is out there, Kieran John, Lewis John also with a decent position in the early stages. Alex Matchett is unbeaten in the series so far, and the sprint distance suits him.
It could make a big difference, yeah, potentially as a sprint distance as well, so you don't have to think so much about conserving energy, so there's a real opportunity to take it out from the start and push the pace.
So approaching the finish of the swim, those that have survived the rough conditions, Lewis still going very, very nicely. He was first out of the water in Bala just a few weeks ago, and here he is just coming up the slipway. Every second is vital. T1 is making sure you come out with the leading cyclists. And Chris Silver, who is certainly a potential winner today, has given away some 14-15 seconds in the water. A good T1 is vital for him. So Josh Lewis first to settle by his bike. Alex Matchett on the left. So good in transition all the way through the season. It's been one of his strong points. So Josh Lewis is first away. We've got Lewis John in second place, Alex Matchett third, Kieran John in fourth, and they've opened up a little bit of a gap between themselves and Chris Silver, who potentially is the best cyclist there. But those seconds could prove absolutely crucial. 15-16 seconds now adrift. Lewis takes the wind as they head out of the transition area, and that could be absolutely key today. It's a non-drafting race, remember.
If you have a decent aero position, you can try and minimise that disadvantage that you get from the headwind. Luckily, I've got a time trial bike, so that would be a lot better than sitting on a road bike and having the wind really hit you.
But I think most would agree you don't want to be in front. In these conditions, you will get some protection, even 12 metres behind. Lewis needs to think sensibly. We've got our first faller, and that is Lewis John, who's gone down, given away second place. Kieran John's gone through into second now, with Alex Matchett in third, and the gap between first and second significantly larger. Good position for Kieran John. Still ahead of Alex Matchett. Here comes Matchett, the nodding head that we've seen over the season so far. His cycling's got better. Abby Williams in the leading group of women out of the water. She's a brilliant runner as well, so if she survives the bike ride, she could take the title away from Carol Bridge. A slip from the junior Eden Schiller. She's only 16 years old. What a future she has. Here is the defending champion, 34 years old now. Races a lot in Europe, does Bridge. Does a lot of coaching as well, so she's experienced, she's knowledgeable, and she is tough as nails. Abby Williams first onto the bike, and a decent gap for her heading into phase two.
Hit my Achilles back in March, so I've just been rehabbing it with Welsh Triathlon to get back to fitness again, and I'm getting there, so hopefully I'll be able to put in a good performance today.
Williams powering her way into the early stages. Biking is her Achilles heel, I guess. She's worked hard on it, but with the injury problems, maybe the run won't be as quick as normal. Vicky Johnston, winner of the last race in the series in Bala, and she produced a solid performance up there in North Wales. Needs to be in contention at T2. Here comes Alex Matchett, about to go past Kieran John, and he'll put in a little burst just to try and put 20 metres or so between them. fourth place, Chris Silver trying to make up for the time lost in the early stages. Goes past John into third.
I'm feeling probably the best I have all season, actually. Just, having quite a few races under my belt, I've kind of seemed to improve in race on race. So, I'm still feeling good and still motivated.
We often see Silver push hard in the early stages, and he's right onto the back wheel of Alex Matchett now. Josh Lewis still the leader. Lewis knows he needs an advantage for the run because he's not as quick as Silver, he's not as quick as Matchett. Now, Silver, we've seen him push too hard on the first half of the bike ride, particularly on the longer races. He's now got Lewis in his sights, and with the speed differential, it's not going to be long before the lead changes yet again here in the Tuska Triathlon. Through he goes. He's got to keep this pace going. I think a 15-second lead for Silver over Matchett may be enough going into the run. He gave away 15 in T1. He certainly can't afford to do that in T2. Here's Matchett, qualified as a doctor this year. It's been a busy season for him. Phenomenal effort to be at this level of triathlon as well. What are his tactics today?
Sprint distance, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to think so tactically so much. It's just from the gun. But I certainly like to make the bike exciting and push the pace where I can and see if I can break up the field a bit.
Chris Silver still leading, but he's not opened up a significant gap yet. He certainly seems to be having a few mechanical issues. That would be bad luck. And here is Carol Bridge leading the way, the defending champion, remember. She's got some young guns shooting at her today. It'll be interesting to see how she fares.
Abby's here, she's very fast. And then Vicky, she's the leader of the series, isn't she? She's fast, so I'll just do my best. I can't control anything else, can I? It's all uncontrollable. I just race as fast as I can and see where I finish.
Well, that attitude has put her into the lead, and she's capable of taking a minute out of the rest of the field. Here's Bethan Hinnett. Good swim from Hinnett, but the bike is not her strong point. And coming up on her shoulder now is Vicky Johnson. And into second place.
I'm hoping that the bike will really play into my hands. I've not done as much bike training as I have in the past, but it is generally one of my strengths, and I think the course is fairly undulating, which usually plays into my hands as well, so yeah, just have to see.
Abby Williams, who swam well. She was certainly slow in the early stages of the bike ride. She's given away a minute and a half to the race leader, but she's trying to make up for it now. Abby Williams, the young star, brilliant runner, provided that Achilles holds out. Here's the leader in the men's race, Chris Silver, needing 15-20 seconds over Matchett going into T2. He's not going to have it at this rate because it's Matchett's turn to take the lead. Great tactics on the bike from Matchett all the way through the season. He's actually come into T2 second on every occasion and gone out first. He is brilliant in transition. Like most doctors, he can do things incredibly fast with no sign of panic. Josh Lewis still hoping that it might be his day.
Push hard into the wind and try as hard as I can on the bike, because I know the boys are really strong on the bike, so it's going to be a case of trying to either stay with them or keep them off my tail.
Well, what a game of cat and mouse we have going here in the Tuska Triathlon. It's turning into a mind game. Matchett still favoured at this stage. Silver starting to believe that it could be his turn after being beaten on every occasion so far this year. And Lewis, well, we'll see what he's got for the final stages. T2 could decide this one. Welcome back to the Tuska Triathlon. Here is the race leader, Chris Silver, who's actually produced the two fastest running times in the last two events, but Matchett, to be honest, the winner wasn't under pressure in either.
I think it would be quite tight if it came down to a running race, but probably need to put maybe, say, 15-20 seconds into him on the bike, just to have a bit of a gap and a bit of a cushion coming onto the run. So obviously, yeah, he is a strong runner.
And as they approach T2, Matchett is well aware of what his strengths are, and he's well aware of the importance of the transition. It's absolutely astonishing what he's achieved this year. The rest of the field could learn from his efficiency.
Transitions are really important in triathlon, as we talk about it as being the fourth discipline, so lots of practice. I've been fortunate to be doing triathlon for quite a long time now, so I've had lots of experience, but I think the main thing is seeing that that's an opportunity that you can put some time into the field.
And it takes a lot of effort to gain 10 seconds back on the run, so you might as well get it going through transition. Just a few hundred metres to go. Silva loosens the buckles on his shoe for a quick exit. Matchett keeps the pressure on, and he gets a valuable 5 metres clear. Josh Lewis of Guernsey actually lives in Cardiff now, but he's put up a good show today. I think he'll be delighted that he's coming into the second transition with the two favourites. And Matchett off the bike just in the nick of time. He's turned that 5 metre lead into 15. Silva in second, Lewis in third. It's not who comes in first, it's who goes out first. Silva, there's the first little error, and incredibly slick drills from Matchett once again. He's left the other two standing. Lewis is second away. Silva still floundering in T2, and he's let a gap of 25, maybe 30 metres open up between himself and Matchett. No one has managed to close that down so far this year. Well, that is a crucial error from Chris Silva. I know it's easy to say when you're sitting in a commentary box, but Silva will know that he's let an opportunity slip. Here comes Carol Bridge. She's had the pedal down all the way, and is coming into T2 first. Just looking, it looks as though she's got about 1:20. Matchett opens those legs. He's like Alistair Brownlee in his ability to run fast off the bike. First little climb, and that will suit Matchett. Josh Lewis, bigger build, slower tempo. Third position, I think the best that he can hope for today. Now, Carol Bridge just needs to capitalise on the good work done on the bike. Was she expecting to lead at this stage? I shouldn't think so. She knows just how good Johnston and Williams are, but she's got herself a healthy lead. Settled breathing, round the turn, the second half of the race, back into the wind, back into the rain. It won't be easy. Were Silva on the shoulder of Matchett, he could have had some protection, but he's still some 30 metres behind. I wonder what's going through his head. And the bad news is that Matchett's running at the end of a 5k gets faster and faster. He's capable of going under 15 minutes. Here's Carol Bridge, shorter, stabbing stride. Looks as though she's got a little bit of a limp, but it's not slowing her down any. Johnson, first place in Bala, second place at the moment here in Tuska. Good for her series points. And Abby Williams, now she's let some 4 minutes go to Carol Bridge on the bike ride. She's a brilliant runner, Williams, but she's not going to make up that sort of ground, surely. Plodding away, Carol Bridge. Is she going to make it 2 in a row? Certainly looks like it at the moment. Passes the men's leader and Chris Silva. And now Matchett just opens up the legs again. He's looking better, feeling better, travelling faster. Josh Lewis, up come the glasses, covered in rain. He can't see a lot. The conditions absolutely foul here, but I don't think that's actually going to bother the racers. Matchett's time, incidentally, is on schedule to be 2 minutes slower than his normal 5k pace. That gives you some indication of how tough the conditions here are in Tuska. But the harder it is, the more satisfaction you get when you win. And Alex Matchett makes it 5 out of 5.
I enjoyed it. It was a really hard race. Conditions definitely played a part in it. Both Chris and Josh, they were really strong on the bike. Josh was really strong on the swim. You could never settle into it because I knew those boys were hunting me down. Very happy to get a 5 out of 5.
Great tactics. Again, he's won this race, in my view, in transition. Chris Silva looks a little despondent.
I thought today might be the one, but I was having a few gearing issues on the bike, so I wasn't able to push it quite as hard as I hoped. He just had the jump on me into transition, and then once there was a little gap, it was always going to be tough to close that.
Impossible to close it the way Matchett's running. Josh Lewis, commendable third.
Really happy with the bike. Like Chris and Alex were really strong on the bike, so I felt a lot better today. So hopefully I can replicate it and maybe better it in the last one.
And the last one will be the Sandman. Matchett, Silver, Lewis on the podium today. Kieran John in fourth place. John Collier 5, a long, long way behind. Carol Bridge has got herself a decent lead in the women's. She's going to defend the title she won here last year. Her winning time last year, 1:10.41. With these conditions, it will be a bit slower. Abby Williams, fantastic running as we expected, but she gave away too much on the bike. The champion is Carol Bridge, the 34-year-old in as good a form as ever.
I said about the swim at the start that I wouldn't get beat up, and I got beat up. I had a good bike. That's all I've been doing this summer, really, is biking. And then the run, it was a bit of a prayer, really, just to hold on to the lead. Defended my titles from last year, so yeah, can't be unhappy with that, can I, really?
Oh, that was the toughest race I think I've ever done. I found that really hard. The sea was so rough, and I'm not used to time trialing on the bike, so I found that really tough. And then this headwind on the way back on the run, oh my God. But I really enjoyed it. It was really good, challenging.
I'm happy to still get on the podium with that, because when I came out the swim I thought I was a goner. That was such a brutal swim. Happy with my bike, and the run just was what it was, but yeah, really tough conditions out there. So
All of them learning a huge amount and learning just how good Carol Bridge is. And look at that, her time is actually over a minute quicker than last year. In these conditions, that is a phenomenal effort. So Bridge takes the win, Williams second, Johnson third, and Bethan Hinnett down in 4. A real test for all.
Tough day out that was, and the swim was tough. Lumpy, you know.
The hardest I've ever done, especially the swim.
Oh. The swim was like being in a washing machine, and the run was windy and wet, but otherwise, good day out by all.
For my first triathlon, that was pretty brutal, but loved it. Would do it again. Yeah.
Well, the next event will be the Sandman up north on Anglesey. Icy seas, strength-sapping beaches to run along. That will be a test for everyone. And Matchett will be going for 6 out of 6. What an achievement that would be. And the women's competition goes right down to the wire. It's going to be a thrilling finale to the Welsh Triathlon Super Series.